Victory Monday continues. Let's go.
That's right. Let's start off with a little Jordan Love talk, guys. And again, we seen them really, really lean into the run yesterday, right? I mean, we watched the Packers just run the hell out of the rock, and there's some people that didn't like that. They thought we should have thrown more, this and that. We're being too conservative. Want to explain why. And again, in the post-game show, we talked about it. We're like, man, it's obvious something's wrong with Jordan's shoulder still from that hit he took in New York, or against the New York Giants, I should say, right? So we seen him, handing the ball off weird. I've actually got the tape. I found it on a clip there from the All-22. We'll hit it. But I want to shout out Alexander Basarowski over at Basarowski Productions, good friend of the show, said same injury Love has, but people still are upset he didn't throw the ball 40 times yesterday, as he quote tweeted an Adam Schefter tweet that said, pre-MRI, the Buccaneers believe Baker Mayfield suffered a sprained AC joint in his left shoulder per sources. There was no fracture and no structural damage. One source said the Buccaneers, quote, are not ruling out Mayfield for Sunday's game versus the Cardinals, but today's MRI will reveal more, right? So obviously what Baz is doing here, Tim, is just pointing out, like, look, we've got a portion of the fan base that's upset that Jordan's not throwing the ball, like he said, 40 times yesterday. We're pressing into the run. It's obvious that was the game plan going in, was like, look, we got to really limit the hits that Jordan takes. I don't think it's so much about him throwing the ball. And it does explain, however, remember me talking about in the postgame show, Tim, he darted that ball down the seam on that one throw? Yep. That explains it, right? Because I was like, man, that looked really weird. And then, of course, you had some other plays where he looked a little bit funky. As a matter of fact, I'll pop this up on the screen real quick. Found this on the All-22, and it got mentioned on the broadcast as well. It was amazing that the announcers didn't realize it was his shoulder. I didn't even really know what was going on. But I just said in this tweet here, Jordan Love picking up right where Favre and Rodgers left off, playing hurt. Played last year with 3 injuries, and here's a good look at the opposite side handoff dealing with the separated shoulder. The Packers have their 3rd straight throwback quarterback. He is nails. So you'll see here, guys, in slow motion. I try to slow it down. He drops back, should have handed it off with his left hand. Instead, he hands it with his right hand. That's how much that left shoulder is bothering. You seen him kind of wince, too, as he went back, and he's getting the hell out of Dodge, right, to make sure he doesn't take any kind of hit there, too, Tim. So, again, just wanted to point out, other people are now mentioning, hey, this is why he didn't throw the ball as much yesterday. You want to get him rested up for Thursday, obviously, against the Lions, because I do think it'll be I think it'll be much more difficult to run against the Lions than it was the Vikings. But I got to be honest with you, man. We ran the ball pretty effectively against the Vikings, and that was a pretty solid defense, if I remember correctly. I'll try to take a glance at some of the rankings here.
Yeah.
In terms of the defense coming into yesterday, let's just go points per play here real quick. Detroit is ranked 12th in the league in points per play. Minnesota's just 2 spots behind them. So in terms of scoring defense, right, not much of a difference. In terms of yards per play allowed, Detroit is 7th best, and Minnesota's 9th best. That was, like I said, coming into yesterday. So Detroit probably dropped a little bit with all the points they gave up to the Giants too, Tim. But again, you want QB1 to be able to throw the football. However, the ultimate goal is to keep him healthy for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd really try to press into the run on Thanksgiving, man. What's your take on all that? How do you feel about Jordan Love and obviously this injury that I really do think mainstream media is not – they're not
touching it.
Yeah, right.
And they're not touching the Packers either. I mean, you wouldn't even know if you watched the national media today that there was even a football game between Minnesota and Green Bay yesterday. The way that they're covering it. And not surprised that Baz picked up on this too. Big shout out to Baz. And it's a credit to the install all week long, right? You got Jordan backhanded, left-handed handoffs with the right hand. And there wasn't a single botched exchange at all in this game, which is, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty surprising to me. And it says a lot about what's going on with that AC joint or shoulder separation, whatever you want to call it. You compare it to Baker Mayfield like Baz did, that's genius. And Baker, that was like basically a non-contact. Like he kind of stumbled and kind of fell funny. You look at Jordan took a shot right to that left shoulder directly. So I'm sure it's a little bit different for Jay Money. And, MRIs being negative, it's not broken, it doesn't need surgery. That's great. It doesn't mean it's not painful as hell and affects the way you play football. So credit to Emmanuel Wilson, credit to Jordan for, getting these backhanded fakes off, and we didn't miss a beat in the run game. And yeah, if we got to do the same thing on Turkey Day in Detroit, then let's do it,
Yeah. Whatever it takes, man. And listen, you got to tip your cap to Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
The fact that you were without Josh Jacobs and essentially without your starting quarterback too, you couldn't play him the way you wanted to, right? And if we had known it was going to be as bad as it was going into the game, we were a little. I don't want to say we. I was very bullish on hitting the over on Jordan Love's passing yards. I thought they would come out and throw the ball around, and then by the end of the first quarter, it's like, oh no, there's something's going on there. So again, you credit Tim with going out there, toughing it out, and credit Matt LaFleur for going, you know what? Don't worry about it. Jordan. We'll win it, but we ain't got Josh Jacobs. I don't care. I'll scheme this thing up. We'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Love to see it. Now, moving on to some more Jordan Love conversation here real quick before we wrap this part up. I want to give a shout out to somebody on X. This is Kevin Cole over on X. Had tweeted out quarterback efficiency, EPA per play, minimum 150 dropbacks through week 12 Sunday Night Football. So it doesn't include this Monday night matchup that's going to be kicking off here shortly, I believe, between Carolina and San Francisco. Jordan Love still leads the National Football League. As a matter of fact, I think he leaped over Drake May yesterday at a positive 0.29 EPA per play. Drake May's at a 0.28, then Sam Darnold 0.26, Patrick Mahomes 0.24. And, of course, if you want to just kind of cross-compare that, because I know Bears fans have somehow convinced themselves that Caleb Williams is playing better than Jordan Love, you'll notice Caleb Williams is 21st in the league with a positive 0.08 EPA per play. So, again, Jordan Love just continuing to play really good football. And I love the fact that he just protected the football yesterday too, man, instead of trying to go out there and play hero ball knowing you're hurt, knowing he didn't can out of run plays. He didn't check at the line. He didn't do all that. It's just, hey, let's stick with the game plan. Let's run the rock. Let's let them make the mistakes. Let's let 9 go out there and lose the game for the Vikings, and we'll just coast in here for a nice little easy victory. It says a lot about this team, Tim, that you can go in there and play like that and not have to be overly aggressive and get a 3-score win. I mean, it really says a lot about where they're at. I think mainly in the trenches, mostly on defense, but you've seen a little bit on offense too, man. They were able to move the rock.
Great point that you made there. Credit Tupac LaFleur for the game plan, right? I mean, you put your starter out there, QB1, and you want to make sure he's not getting worse with that shoulder, and you literally scheme up a game plan designed around it to keep him safe. We actually saw, a couple of plays where I believe Jordan canned out of a pass and canned to a run just because, whatever the read was or whatever the reasoning was. So like, to your point, he's trusting that game plan that they had in install and, trusting Jeff Hafley's defense, like you said, in the trenches. I mean, look at how many 3-and-outs were generated, how many turnovers. One thing I think nobody is given the Packers credit for is, you had another turnover created on a 4th and 1 that Minnesota tried to go for. Yeah. And, that's a turnover on downs by your defense. I don't care what anyone says. It ain't going to jump off the stat sheet at you. But that's a turnover, man. You stood them up on 3rd and short, and then you did it again on 4th and short. That's a credit to Hafley and DeMarcus Covington there in the trenches getting it done, and I love it.
We'll break that play down on Chalk Talk tomorrow as well, and they're continuing that tendency of playing an under front against heavy sets. Yep, and it's really impressive that they literally will play under. It's like they're begging them to run to the strong side of the formation. And it seems like teams are still hesitating to try to stretch it out wide because they know how quick, how fast this Packers defense is. That's the best I can come up with there. But very, very interesting to see them continue to play under fronts on those type of plays. Corey Murphy in the chat says, yeah, maybe this O-line is putting it together. There were some things that changed too. I'm going to briefly mention it here. Me and Tim talked about it a little bit earlier. Snap count on the offensive line. Zach Tom, 65 snaps. Aaron Banks, 65 snaps. Sean Ryan, 65 snaps. Rasheed Walker, 65 snaps. Anthony
65%.
65%. That's what Anthony Belton at right guard, 45 snaps. All right. Check this out.
They pulled the Escalade out of the garage, man. They got him out there. I love it.
And again, I didn't notice anything on the tape that said, wow, he played great. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I would love to be coming on here tonight and be like, Anthony Belton was a dog. I didn't see it. Right. He didn't play horrible in my opinion, but I didn't see some people I think got excited just to see him out there. But 45 snaps. Next in line, Darian Kennard with 21 snaps. And you guys know he plays that extra Y, right? He plays the extra tight end position when they want to go to the heavy sets. then Jordan Morgan at 20 snaps, Jacob Monk 0 snaps. So if yesterday was any indication, they may finally have turned the corner and said, all right, Anthony Belton is going to play right guard, and let's put Jordan Morgan on the bench and hopefully get him working dominantly, or primarily, I should say, on the left side of the offensive line, get him ready to take over at left tackle if they don't extend Rasheed Walker. That's what I would like to see happen. I'm sick of the whole trying to force a square peg in a round hole, that whole thing. But again, I digress. I think that it could have been a game plan thing too, Tim. Hell, for all we know, maybe Jordan Morgan was a little banged up or got banged up in the game and we didn't notice it, right? And they just decided, hey, let's limit his snap count. I think we will find out on Thanksgiving, though, against Detroit, whether or not that's going to continue there with Anthony Belton playing right guard. So
I think to your point, it's valid. Like I don't think anything like jumped off the tape as like phenomenal play. But when you see, a rookie go out there and not be a liability and be able to play some damn good snaps for you, especially in a run heavy game, especially in a position that, you don't necessarily play all the time. That was the bright spot that I saw with Big Escalade out there at right guard.
Yeah, and I've seen people bragging on our boy Emmanuel Wilson in the chat here. This play is another one that makes chalk talk. I usually don't include 1 yard touchdowns. There's not much to break down. You got a yard, right? But this one, as I said in this tweet, the box score will show a 1 yard run, but the tape shows Emmanuel Wilson running through an MFer's face. Watch this run right here, guys. It's going to be an A-gap run, right? It's going to be a 21 dive, essentially. Watch him, and I'll slow it down here for you too. Look at this. Linebacker meets him in the hole. Just crumbled him, dude.
Linebacker and a D tackle.
Yeah, absolutely crumbled. Look at Sean Ryan driving out of there too, man. That's what you want to see. Now, there's Jordan Morgan on that play, right? He didn't block a damn person.
That's like you were saying, right? If you're gonna bail or you're gonna guess or commit, it's to the inside, not to the outside. And he bit to the outside on that one.
And again, that's Emmanuel Wilson right there, dude. That's a grown ass man.
Is that the one he was talking about? He stopped his feet. I didn't stop mine. I love it.
Guarantee that's what it was.
I love it.
So again, Emmanuel Wilson with a great game there, and just wanted to show, like, somebody said it in the chat. They said, 9 to be fair to 9 over in Minnesota, he didn't have Emmanuel Wilson in the backfield, right? Emmanuel Wilson was balling out. Let's go to the injury report real quick before we change gears here, Tim. This is the first one, and guys, understand. This is one of those where if they had practice, this is kind of a projection, as Paul Brittle said. Packers estimated injury report. Jacobson, Golden limited. Nixon and Van Ness did not participate. Now, Baz on Twitter, he seemed to think, oh, no, LVN took a step back. But I will tell you this, not only but I think Anthony over on X as well. He usually hops in here on the show as well. I noticed, and he noticed it as well. He pointed it out to Baz, that late in the fourth quarter, LVM was in. I think it was the McDuffie interception. LVM was rushing the quarterback. So he did come back, and this just may be precautionary here. He was limping, so he wasn't 100%. So Baz was wondering, oh, no, did he have a setback? Thinking he may have not gone back into the game, and he did confirm he didn't know that he went back in the game. So I just wanted to mention that. I think that's good news that he went back in. However, obviously something's still bothering him because he went in for a few snaps early and he just started hobbling. So
and we still don't know what it is, right? It's just foot, right?
Right.
I'm wondering if he's dealing with the same crap Bird was dealing with the Jones fracture. And, LVN's just gritting through it and trying not to have the surgery so he's available. That's pure unadulterated speculation on my part. But you see a guy that's clearly not 100%, but is trying to get back. And the fact that he did come into the game again is a good sign. But clearly he's playing through something, and you got to love the grit on Lucas Van Ness, just doing what he's got to do to see the field, even if it is 10 snaps or 8 snaps or whatever it is. Like you said, he's in on a play, rushing the quarterback, and we get a pick. We'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just kind of focus on the did not participate. What would have been projected as did not participate. Carl Brooks, we talked about him having very limited snaps. It's obvious he's hurt with the ankle injury. He would not have participated. Keyshawn Nixon would not have with the neck stinger. Lucas Van Ness wouldn't have with the foot, and Savion Williams wouldn't have with the foot. So just to kind of give you an update on that, nothing's really changed on the injury report other than I think we would all say we're hopeful, and I'm kind of expecting both Jaden Reed and Josh Jacobs to be in the lineup on Thursday. It was kind of the plan to hold them out, it seemed like. I could be wrong there. We'll see as we get a little later in the week. But I think you'll have both of those guys back, and there's a chance you'll have Quay back too, as they said he would have been limited with the neck injury, right? So just a couple of players that kind of stick out to me there. On Detroit's side, Terry and Arnold would have been limited with a concussion. You had Brian Branch limited with the toe/ankle, which he's been banged up for a while, I believe. Did not participate for Graham Glasgow, center, Kirby Joseph, safety. Who else? Khalif Raymond, wide receiver, and then Brock Wright, tight end. So they've got a long injury list here as well. We'll keep an eye on that and monitor it as we get closer to Thursday.
Keep an eye on that tight end position, right? I mean, they're already down their TE1. Now it looks like you're down another one. So that's certainly going to change things offensively from Detroit's standpoint for sure. And then, like hopefully Brian Branch misses this game, but I doubt it.
Right. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm trying to think. Is it Kirby Joseph that's been out a while now, guys? Is it him that's been out with the knee? I'm thinking. I could be wrong there, but I want to say he's missed some significant time now. But
that would make sense, right? He's DNP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. But anyway, let us know if you're watching this video back later. Let us know in the comments. How do you feel about that injury report? Also, how do you feel about Jordan Love? Did that kind of answer the questions for you like it did for us in terms of, him not looking like himself out there? And what do you think about Matt LaFleur's game plan that he put together to try to just kind of coast in there on that victory against a Minnesota Vikings team that obviously were not ready to play, man. They got their ass kicked in every phase of the game. And I think they said they had, 40 yards in the second half of total offense. I mean, that's just insane. So, again, let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, Tim,